Hello! Welcome to episode 124 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome our various life obstacles and issues and get something done. Most recently, it's been a supernatural action horror comedy called Deathless. We are on issue 2, Steven. We're going to launch the Kickstarter in a couple of months. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling really good. I mean, launching them because what's going to basically, we're going to launch it the day or two before we do that con over in, is it Punta Gorda or Port Charlotte?
I don't remember. I'll tell you.
But no,
good.
It's like that nervous excitement, you know what I'm saying? Like where it could go wrong. Everything could go horrible, but usually 2 times out of 2, it hasn't gone horrible. So I'm looking forward to it. It's always exciting to see how it's always exciting to see how excited people are to support it.
Yes. I'll say I have confidence that everyone who reads the first book will want to participate in the Kickstarter for the second book. I'm super excited about that. Like, I feel that that's true. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who gets the book is going to participate, because I'm sure there's some people who, helped out with the first Kickstarter who probably won't even read the book or just don't care, but just wanted to show up the first time. But I do feel like anyone who reads the first book is going to understand what the world's becoming that we're creating. And I think I'm really hoping and I believe that they're going to show up for the second one.
I think so. It mixes all the great elements. It's got, some action. It's got some comedy. It's got, relatability. So I think it's a very solid.
Your face and some of your hair.
It's got my face and some of my hair. Yeah,
not all of it. You couldn't you had to cut down on that girth a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
The people couldn't take it.
It's just too much, Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Although it does make me feel good when I do the crazy, the issue 2 cover that I've done so far, where he's punching and his hair is just this explosion of Cousin It, and it still works. It's part of it,
Oh, dude, it's so good. I love the style of it. I love this the silly iconic character that we're creating here. It's really cool. I think it's going to come into its own in issue 2. So every week in the beginning of our show, we talk about what we wanted to get done and what got in the way. How was your week? What did you actually want to do?
So I wanted to finish 2 and 3, and I fuckessed. I failed because majority of my time completely forgot Tina was going to Tampa on Saturday. So majority of my big days was consumed. However, I got, I think, 50 to 75% of page 2 done, and I've roughed 3 all the way and 4 all the way. So
what I hear is you're a huge failure, Steve,
but I do need input on page 4 because there's one of the panels. I think I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But I'll have you go over it. I'm not going to say it in the podcast, but I'll send it to you after.
We got it. I have full confidence that we're going to work through this. I'm not at all panicked at the fact that I didn't communicate this well at all.
It says left twice, and I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that.
Okay.
It might have been you meant right on one of them,
maybe,
or you mean that it's. I'm just not seeing how you saw. That has happened before. Where this doesn't make any sense. And you're like, no, Steven, this. I'm like, oh, that makes absolutely complete sense. Okay, I see.
It is weird, and dude, it's so funny, and it's true though. That since I write for you, I don't go crazy with the way I word things sometimes. So every once in a while, this will happen, and we'll talk through things, and it's okay. It's funny because it's good for me. And I don't think it's to your detriment or anything, but I just think it's nice that I don't have to sit there and be so concerned about how my flowery prose is sounding, the words that are never going to actually make it onto the comic at all. Why do I have to make this sound a certain way? Why do I have to impress the artist? It should just be as concise and as possible. So that's what I try to do, and I feel sometimes I probably just mix words or miss something. But it's cool that we're so close so we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, it's not even, it's a non-issue, and honestly, it's probably one of those things.
I'm dying inside, Steven. I'm dying inside because I failed you. I failed us.
Since it's an action panel, I probably could have just ignored your instructions altogether
100%.
and just drawn whatever I wanted to.
I would take full credit, but yes.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are times where I make the artistic call after I'm already halfway through the page. I'm like, it'd make more sense if I do it from this perspective or this, just to change it up. But anyways, 3 and 4 are rough, which I've said before in the past, that's where you get the artist block, in my opinion, is the roughing. So I said because of how my time was this week, I was able to squeeze time in here and there, and that's really good for us because I can kind of break it down panel by panel too. So like,
Yes.
I made good progress on rough, so now I have at least 3 pages that I can like just mess with. You know, I can put fine inks on whenever I want. I know you were pretty friggin' successful this week with something awesome.
Dude, okay. So last week I talked a little bit about this, but so our friend Sean, a friend of the podcast, Sean from the Don't Make It Weird podcast, which by the way, their newest episode, Steven, I don't know if you had a chance to see it yet.
No, it just because it got re-uploaded, so I need to check it out though. I usually listen to it in the morning.
So, okay, two things. And I know two things. First of all, go check out the Don't Make It Weird podcast. They are incredible. They're wonderful people. They're hilarious. They have like some of the funniest segments that I've ever seen. The
cringy compilation is one of my favorites. I love reading them. Whenever we're back on, we need a cringy compilation, please.
The cringy compilations it's so funny, and like it's funny every time is the thing, you know. But anyway, their show is wonderful. So this week on their show, Daniel from the Don't Make It Weird podcast said, "That's what we do here on We Have Issues podcast."
No, he did. Was it by accident?
Yes. It's complete. So we're getting in people's brains, Steven. We're building a colony of people who are part of us, who feel like they're a part of our show. I love it. I love it so much.
We genuinely need to just do flip episodes, like where like 1 week I'm Daniel on Don't Make It Weird, and he is just Stevie Wildcard that week. Like we just take over that character. Dina treats me like shit, you know. Sean like doubles down on whatever Dina says to me. Like it would just be great.
So, but dude, okay, so Sean from the Don't Make It Weird podcast, he sent me a DM, and he was like, "Hey man, I know you like to write movies and you always wanted to do this and you like Kevin Smith. Here's a contest that Kevin Smith is participating in. He's, hosting it or whatever, and it's a short film contest, a short comedy contest. You write a script, put it out. If you win, you get $40,000 for making this movie, this whole thing." So I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And I looked and I was like, crap, I have like 4 days. I have 4 days. How am I going to do
to write an entire short film?
Yes, I have 4 days from scratch. I was like, I have ideas, right? Like I know I have ideas, but like I didn't have anything like solid. I didn't have any solid outlines. I was like, I'm going to pull one of our new movies. So what I thought, so I was like, first of all, I had a few things that I was trying to factor in where I was like, okay, if they're going to be producing this short film, I want it to be something with like a small cast. I want it to be something with like limited locations, like not too many crazy effects or anything. Something that they know they can keep a pretty low budget and still be fun. So I was like trying to like rack my brain. So I was like, I was thinking about like, the Bury Your Dead. I was like, that's only 2 guys or a guy and a girl. It doesn't, but like it's only 2 people in one location. It's super easy, But I was like, I don't know how funny I can make that right now because I don't have the whole, like I didn't have enough of it in my head. You know what I mean? Like I had a quick pitch for it, but not like the story wasn't in my body, And then I was like the How to Dispatch a Vampire. I was like, oh, I can do that, but I was like, it might need more like special effects and like craziness. Like they might, like I feel like it would be better if it was more Home Alone-y with like you.
Yes, and that you're gonna need a lot of practical effects for that.
So it's like
not even special effects, but just like a lot of like creativity with props, and that's expensive. I mean, it adds up.
Yes, and I was also considering the fact that like describing all of those like Rube Goldberg traps, like mouse traps for vampires that I would have to create in 4 days. I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit because I know I'm gonna sit there and like spiral and be like, that's not good enough. It's stupid. He trips over milk. What? I'm just like I wasn't gonna. So I was like, I landed on Stakeout, where I was like, Stakeout. It's 2 guys. Dealing with this situation with an ex-girlfriend. There's a vampire. I can do this. So I figured, okay, if I write this thing, someone has to win, right? Like, I don't know how these things work. Someone has to win. So I was like, if I win, it would be life-changing, right? So I was like, it would be life-changing. Just like overall, someone gives me $40,000, that changes my whole life, right? So I was like, I'm going to record myself writing this thing. So I sat down and I literally had a camera on me and I recorded myself writing the entire thing.
That's
from
crazy.
from start to finish. And it was so weird. It was so weird. I stopped the camera like 3 times to fart and I was just no. It was weird. It was so like it was uncomfortable, but at the same time, dude, I'll tell you, it was kind of nice. Because it was much like what this podcast can be, where it's like there is that sense of accountability where I'm like, oh, these people are watching me. I don't want it to take 17 hours for me to write this, 25-page thing. I can do this, and like talking through issues, and it was nice. It was nice to feel like I kind of had like that restraint that was keeping me from constantly jumping off the page and going to Twitter or going to TikTok or going to whatever else. So I got through it, dude. I spent the time. I wrote like really hard. Like I just like went all in and just like I did a full outline one day, and then the second day I did the full dialogue, and the third day I basically just like punched up the dialogue and fixed a couple little things that I was like, that was a hole, whoops. And then I submitted it, and I even made this like really silly poster.
Yeah,
Post here.
It's good.
It's so silly. Well, it's because they would say like, you have to include an image and it has to be this. And I was like, I did not plan that, and I only had 4 days, and the last day was submission day. So I'm like, I don't have time to make a poster, not a good one, So I was just like, I made that really quick. I submitted. I was like, I freaking did it. I did it. And I was like burning. I was like on fire. And then I looked at I looked at the description of the contest once again, and instead of January 14th, I realized that the deadline was February 14th, and I had a full month to do it, Stephen. I had a solid month I could have spent. Stephen, I could have spent an entire month writing. No, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad.
No, yeah, now you can work, focus on Deathless flats, Deathless touch-ups, whatever you want.
100%. That's what I'm excited for. Like tomorrow, Atlas is going to go with his mom. I'm going to have 2 days to. I'm gonna flat color everything you have essentially, and it's gonna be and probably letter the first couple pages, which is really cool.
Yeah, so, and you can go ahead and like put the logo and stuff on the cover page, so you can let me know if you need me to shift anything. I think I put the logo there myself just to see. Yeah. There's plenty of space, but yeah. So yeah, you at least have 2, and then I'll have page 2 done, before you get too far, I think so.
Dude, I'm thankful. Like I'm thankful. I did it. I got it over and done with. And what I didn't realize, Steven, because I'll tell you, I believed I only had 4 days to do this. I wasn't looking into the details of this thing. I wasn't like, how does this work? Tell me everything. I was just like, there's a Kevin Smith contest. It's a short film, comedy. I have to write it. And I just did it, right? And what I learned after submitting and learning that the deadline wasn't for another month was that, Steven, other people who submit to it and people who are a part of that website can read my submission and review it with words and like comments and words and like critiques and like the number values on different things. So like how funny they think it is, how creative they think it is, and I was just like, I was not aware that I signed up for this, and now my body and brain are on fire.
Now I'm about to be like, thrown to the wolves, basically.
Yes, and it's so funny because like that's essentially what I wrote that on Twitter where I was like, oh, this thing, I just have to punch it up. I'm ready to throw it to the wolves. And like what I meant was Kevin Smith's people. Like I meant like
those wolves,
those particular wolves,
the well-to-do wolves, the ones that are like fat cat wolves, basically.
That's what I wanted.
But now you just have savage, hungry writing wolves, and they're hungry, man. They're hungry.
So
like the wolf,
Steven, we need to get that song done. But but dude, okay, so far my script has 2 reviews and both of them are really good. So
really, that's amazing.
There's 2 reviews, they're both really good. People said it was really clever and really creative and has a lot of potential. The one guy, and there were no negative comments. Like the one guy said like he didn't think that the ending scene, like the very last scene, was necessary, and he thought that some of the stuff before the vampire shows up is a little long. And I was like, okay, I was like, I can deal with those critiques. Like it's first of all, I wrote this in 4 days. It's literally a first draft that I threw at the world, and I'm just like, crap. And now people are gonna read my first draft vampire movie.
That's the type of stuff that you can even edit down when you're in the editing room after it's shot. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll see how it plays.
Yes. Yeah, dude, that's exactly the case. So what I'm thinking, dude, is so what we can do is we can get a couple of people, like probably Sean and Daniel, and I asked Diana from the Critically Stupid podcast if she would be a part of it. But you and I and Diana and maybe Sean and Daniel, I haven't asked them yet, can get together and just do a read through of the script on
Oh,
Zoom.
dude, that'd be so fun. Oh, doing like a reading with Diana though,
Yes.
and Sean and Daniel would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be fun? So I was thinking about doing that. I want to record it and just kind of release like an unedited version to our Patreon like peoples, and then just like all edit it down like it's a movie, and just like cut out the silence or ums or laughter or like second takes and stuff. Because we're gonna mess it up. We're not just gonna have some kind of like miraculous perfect read through the first time we ever do it. It's just not gonna happen.
It just cuts to like Mugatu. It's glorious. It's perfect. We literally just use the audio from the reading and like have to try to lip sync it while we're acting because it's too good. It's worth that headache.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. What I figure about the screenplay thing is, if by some chance I don't win, Steven, which is like slim to none, gonna win. It's gonna happen. But if by like like miraculously, if my chances somehow fall in the quicksand,
like me,
yeah. So if my filmmaking or my film writing dreams fall into the quicksand, much like my best friend, I think we can pick them up and kind of like shake it off ourselves and just run a Kickstarter. Like I think what I want to do is just do like a shot list and storyboards and figure out all of the effects I need to do, which is limited because that's what I intended with the script. It's not too much. I didn't like tear apart the car or do anything like, and when I first conceived of the movie and I was like pitching it on the show and stuff, I was imagining the vampire would like punch through the hood and like break the car for good and it would be dead. But it's so much funnier that the character just is renting a car and doesn't want to drive on a flat tire because of the insurance money. Like, it's just so much funnier.
It's great.
And it's free, like that's just free to do, so I love that. So anyway, so I feel like it's something that we can film. Like, I think I wrote something that's actually filmable. So what I want to do is just go through it and figure out how much I believe it would cost, do as best I can to estimate that, and then just run a Kickstarter for that amount, plus, time to edit it and all of that I have to take off of work. But, like a few $1,000s or whatever it'll be. And just do it and just make it. And then we'll have our first ever short film toward like, an eventual anthology or vampthology, depending on which way we go.
We can get Tina to do makeup.
Oh, that'd be so cool. She'd make me look good for once. Steven, speaking of that, Steven,
your hair actually looks good. I saw your little tweet, but like,
Steven, I will tell you. Oh, you want to know why? Steven? Because this side is my not so bad side, Steven. That's why. But I think part of the thing is it's always been that way. I just always kind of lean this way. I think this because this is my like bad eye that it goes out of focus and like,
so you're just like,
yeah. So I think I just like naturally lean a little. But like if you look here, it's all kinds of like way too short and like messed up. I mean, it's not like unlovable, Steven. I'm still lovable. No, but dude, I got so.
It's very Jay Baruchel of you. You just look like you look like you woke up and looks good.
I'll take it, Steven. I will take Jay Baruchel. I don't know. I've been feeling insecure as heck lately, though. Like, and that didn't help. I was like, I'm turning 37. I'm feeling older. I feel like I'm too skinny, and that's Steven. So we're gonna make a movie probably. I mean, if it doesn't get so like, if
we both need to kind of like,
I gotta tone up, dude. You
gotta tone up. I gotta tighten up. Like, we gotta look good.
I gotta look good. I have to get camera ready. I am not. I just like. I'm gonna like have my like Rocky Mon. I'm not gonna eat those eggs, but I'm gonna do a Rocky montage.
But at least like the camera really does add that weight,
Yeah.
So I mean, you will look broader in the camera. Not that you're unbroad to begin with. Like you're not. I'm sure just like how I hyperfixate and how big I am, you probably hyperfixate on how thin you are, and that's I wish people would correlate those things because like big people are always like, how can you be you know,
I
what's too skinny. It's like, I mean, everyone has their freaking, you know, like it's
absolutely. I like, and it's so funny because like we've been best friends forever. So like we've talked about our insecurities together,
Mhm.
and it's just like, but we've both been through that. I have definitely heard that so many times. It's like people are like, oh yeah, the world's smallest violin for your thin people problems. I'm like, I have sincere like feelings and insecurities about this. Like I don't like I have feelings about my body that's been unfortunately conditioned through like societal
Mhm.
pressures and such, the same way that you have. Like I can't believe that you're even bringing this up in that way. It's just weird. And
It
it's
is, we're actually the same, and you're somehow painting us as like, you know,
yes.
Capulets and Montagues over here. I don't understand.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're both alike in dignity and insecurity. So let's
Yeah,
just like,
let's
what are
just
we
be.
doing? Yeah. So I want to for myself just start exercising again and getting like feeling healthy again. I want my freaking hair to grow back a little so I can feel more confident in it. Like it just sucks. Like I've been cutting my own hair for a while, like 8 years now, something like that, like 9 years almost. Like yeah, it's like 8 years. So I've been cutting my own hair for like 8 years. I've been getting pretty good at it. So it's all like trial and error on myself, and unfortunately, sometimes that results in error. So, and
Sometimes we fall short of our
oh,
goals.
dude, it was so bad.
Sometimes it's a fuck ass of a haircut. Really,
Usually, it's a fuck ass of a haircut, and like the funniest thing is like, because like I'm looking in the mirror, so everything's weird and backwards, and I must have gone slightly too short because it was just sticking up a little, and I was like, I can fix this, right? If I cut it shorter, surely it won't stick up anymore.
and I guess like, Tina would explain to me that short hair like pushes longer hair up, and like I don't know.
And that's so I was trying, like I went through YouTube and I was like, give me some videos, and there were no videos that were like appropriate for my length of hair that made any sense. And I was just like, I am screwed. So I just
All the
like
videos like, here's how you cut a guitar shape into your head.
I was like, this is my identity now. This is who I am. But like, yeah, so I messed it up a little bit, and I just, ugh. So of course I look in the mirror and I'm just like, I hate the way I look. And then like, it's so weird, dude, because I mean, ever since I was like 25, I've noticed like my hair, obviously like it recedes a little and it thins a little, and it's like when I get stressed out, it thins a lot in certain areas, and I'm just like, is that permanent? Is it coming back? Am I just gonna be? Do I buy a hat yet? Is it time for a hat? And I'm just like, what do I do? I can't grow a beard. Like I literally just giant bald spot, and I can't have a bald spot here and here. I need like one or the other. What are you doing?
Pick.
So I'm just like, so then of course when something like this happens, it just like all of those like insecurities and like that stress just like builds and comes to the surface. I'm like, shut up, I'm gonna die alone.
You're not gonna die alone.
It's so weird. It's so weird to, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna die alone yet,
See,
Steven.
I feel like I am at more risk of dying alone, even though right now I'm not. Like, if Tina dies young or leaves me, I have the game of an 18-year-old. So, like,
I mean, you have the spirit of an 18-year-old, but the body of a god. I mean, like,
I feel like my demeanor doesn't match my stature. So, like, it's like the goofball, I don't think I'd be able to.
I think
I don't think I'd be able to swim in the dating world very well. I think I'd drown.
I think that what would happen to you now, I think that's what you think. What I think would happen is that you would be fine, but you would have to compare every single human to Tina for the
And
rest
it
of
would
your
just be
life.
impossible.
No way, you're not matching that. Like it's just, and I hate to say it, but like you guys are so perfect for each other that I'm just like, oh God, Steven, please, like let the both of you live forever and die in the
I
same
know
day.
she just has like these random health problems. I'm just like, damn it, she's gonna die before me, and I'm gonna be sad. And it's like I'm
Oh,
supposed to die first
oh
in the
yeah.
heat of battle. Like that's how it's supposed to go.
Oh man, no, but it's crazy, dude. Like I've been going through, I've been going through like bouts of loneliness where I'm just like, I don't want to date. I like what I'm doing. I wouldn't be able, like, I couldn't have written that script in 2 days if I was dating. I have someone texting me, and like last time I had something important, like I had a relationship and I had something important to me, and I tried to tell someone like, hey, I just need I need a night so I can do this thing. They got mad and didn't believe me, and I'm just like, I can't, and it wasn't my previous girlfriend, it was someone else, but like, it's just, I can't have those situations. I need the freedom to write and draw and edit, and, like, I want to be able to go to the movies and do this stuff. So it's like, like I post on Twitter where I was just like, like sometimes I feel like I should just be alone and my life is better that way. But sometimes I just want to be like alone with someone else. Like sometimes I just want to have the opportunity to be like, I'm going to go to this bar and like, you want to come? Like, yeah, let's go hang out and like talk about nonsense.
And I think that's like one of the best parts about like long-term serious, like Tina and I, like we can just enjoy each other's silence, like while each of us is doing their own thing, but we're just in each other's presence. It's like the warmth of each other's presence, basically. And then of course the occasional acknowledgement of one another, but
the occasional acknowledgement of your existence.
She, pokes her head up from TikTok and I, poke my head up from the pad. But like, yeah, like, I mean, like those moments that like are just as awesome as the moments you like actually like focus where you do something, together. It's crazy. Like enjoying that silence together. It takes a long time to get to that stage.
Yes. Yeah, and it's so like it's so compelling, and it's one of those things that just it makes me want to be like, okay, well maybe at some point I'll I want to date again, but then I don't want to go through it. I don't want to go through all of those beginning steps with people like it's just like there's so much and it's so unnecessary, or it's not necessary. It's just, it's a lot. It's complicated and you never know. It's such a weird gamble.
In 20 years, they can clone human bodies and impose personalities into them. So we just like get like Tina passes away. You're still, like swimming through the dating life, but we can put each other's personalities in like clone people. And like we just
you turn to me, you're just like, I can make you a Tina. We can both have one. I was like, but make her like Steven. Wait, what? Which part? All of it.
All of it.
I slowly changed Tina, and to make myself more comfortable, I'm just like, and then it's like, I'd finished it. It is perfect. And it's just you.
down to the follicle.
It's the shortest version of you.
It's the fusion dance version of Steven and Tina.
Oh man, no, it's been weird, and I find myself feeling more inclined to like be flirtatious or something with people, and then I'm like, no, stop it!
I can't do this.
And it's so funny because like because I know I have the freedom to do that. Like I'm allowed to do it, but I'm like, I don't want any of the complications that come with this, so I shouldn't do the thing at all. Like I'm so like, I'm at the point where I've been through so much with people that I don't want to even accidentally hurt anyone's feelings, and I don't trust any human with their own their own safety anymore. I don't think that people will protect their own emotional best interest, so even if you say like, hey, we're just flirting and we're just joking, or like, I don't want a relationship, people will say, me too, and then hurt themselves. And I'm like, ugh.
And then they'll go, ow.
Yeah, well, and then they go, ow, you're a jerk. And I'm like, no, but and then there's no way out of that, and it's just like,
it's a very Costanza moment. Those are the rules. We established guidelines.
There were worlds. The worlds collide, and it's hard. And then sometimes it's like you establish those guidelines, or like you talk about those things, and then the worlds do collide, and it's for the better, and you both kind of feel that, but then it also feels like you're betraying it somehow, and then it's like, oh, is this always going to happen? Is there any way around it? Is there any? And it's like, the answer most people would imagine is communication, but that's the hardest thing for some reason. People like I have been in situations with people in like relationships, and like, where I will say explicitly what I'm feeling or thinking or wondering or worried about, and it's like either misconstrued or like just like people act as if there's some sort of ulterior motive, or act as if there's like something else, or like, or just like ignore it completely. And it's just like, I literally just said that, like, I laid it out. I was like, here, this is how I feel. Like, here are my feelings on a paper. Like, I know how to list things. I'm good at making lists, And then it's just one of those, like, well, I'm gonna not pay attention to your list because we need broccoli today. I'm like, wait, what? No, but I just and it's
I
it's
gave it to you.
yeah, I
You're
get
so well defined and detailed.
and of course, like you could argue like, well, if it was obviously even if you communicated it the way you can communicate it, it doesn't mean it was the way they can receive it, right? So it's like that's a whole like
That's like one of like that's like where Tina and I've learned over the years because like I'm sure you're similar to me. I am super descriptive. So like I need to like kind of like I want to get to this point, but I need to paint this point and this point to get to this point.
Yep.
And then Tina's frustrated at this point where I'm not even at the point I need to be at. This isn't even the focus point, but we need to know this so we can know this. Okay.
Yes.
But Tina's a very direct person. You say direct things and she understands the directness and she responds with directness.
Yeah.
So it is hard to navigate those conversational like pitfalls basically.
And it's so interesting because, like like idealistically, I feel like, okay, we can okay, you can meet someone, they have their own like language of their identity and like the way they experience the world around them and everything, and then like you come together and you learn one another's language, you try to translate these things and these experiences, and you learn how to build a language together, so then you can communicate in the way that makes sense to the two of you, even if it makes sense to no one else. It's as long as the two of you have this language in this world. But like it's like it's so hard to become untethered from our own individual histories with our language, no matter what it is. Like whatever, like trauma or just like whatever relationships you've had in the past or whatever it is. It's so hard to like just unravel those things and like just exist with things objectively as they are in this relationship, and like so every time you're saying things, or often when you say something to other people, what they're hearing is what you're saying, but also how they've experienced similar things in the past. And it's like I don't know how to break through that, with the exception of like hoping that when I do eventually meet someone, she and I would be on like that's on the same level of wanting to kind of live in the right now in this and what this is, and not necessarily defining it by everything we've experienced, which is so freaking hard,
Yeah, borderline impossible. Although I'm like pretty much, I'm sure like there's my own things I impose, but like my brain just erases. Although like I think my trauma or whatever I've been through manifests differently, but. Yeah. I don't really have like moments like it's weird. I don't know. We talk about it, but
yeah, dude. And so it's like I go through. I have these stages of kind of like isolation and like just like sort of grief, where I'm almost like mourning those relationships, and I'm like, oh, I am getting older, and it would be nice to like spend time with people, and like I would be like, I don't know. I don't know, like sometimes I go through it and I'm just like, I get really down on myself and I'm like, what do I have to offer anyone? What do I, like, why would anyone want to spend time with me? I spend all of my time doing this stuff. I'm also with my son most of the time. It's like, I only have a sliver of hours to dedicate to anyone and really like commit, that time to them. Which is why like, I get to the point where I'm like, I just want someone to go to the movies with and like have a beer with sometimes. Like, why is it so hard? But the problem is like those experiences facilitate, greater emotional, experiences together, and then
which require more time and more effort.
Exactly. And then you start building then you start building that language. And then once that language is built, there's more of the commitment. And then of course the trouble happens, and if it seems to be like that being like that's like the spiral. You just get hit by that boulder over and over, and it's just like I'm sick of dropping the boulder and feel like pushing it back up the hill, and like it's just. But it's also it's an experience that I enjoy. Like I enjoy the part where I'm pushing it up and I'm waiting for it to roll down the other side, but it just keeps not happening, and it gets to the point where I'm like, this is a punishment in hell for this person on purpose, like for a reason. It's
because it gets so damn close to the top so many times, and then
yes.
it just.
Yeah, man, and that's how it feels.
That's the cruel. Like, I mean, if the boulder's gonna roll, at least do it after my second push. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me keep pushing from the beginning so I can get like practice on this before it just decides.
Yeah, that's
crush me and.
Yeah, and
because nothing like in a video game or in life, nothing is more defeating than progressing so far into something and then losing all of your progress completely and starting back at square one. Like that's
Absolutely. And it's yes. And like yes, and of course now you know the terrain, now you know the maps, now you know certain pitfalls and dangers that may lie ahead in various situations, and you learn from those experiences, yes, but still knowing that you have to go through it again is freaking exhausting,
and it makes those moments not as enjoyable, right? Like I think about if a video, like if my Pokemon file gets erased completely and I have to replay the storyline, I'm not enjoying it the same time, like the same way I enjoyed it the first time.
Well, I'll tell you, dude, like historically, I was a guy who made things for people, and like I wrote poems, and like I wanted to be that guy. I like doing those things. I like writing songs for people and making cartoons for people, and like I like being elaborate and fun, and like doing things that like would be in stupid Hallmark movies, because I feel like if we're gonna live a life, that's the way to do it, and I want to do those things. But when you do them so many times and you end up having that boulder roll back over you, it becomes so much harder to do those things, because all you're thinking about is that boulder. And it's like, well, when this boulder rolls, it's gonna crush all this stuff. And I know it should just be about the journey and the experience, and like like doing it because I want to, but or because it's the best thing to do, or just a fun experience to have in life. But like it doesn't make it easier to experience those losses,
No, at all.
It's like knowing those things, it's still hard to take those steps sometimes, knowing that there's such a great potential for the failure, and it's just like crap. And I hate being cynical about it. I'm not really going to say like I'll never date again, it'll never happen. Like I could very much there is a part of my stupid brain that's just like, hey, this person's cute, you should just say something, it's okay, but like it's not time yet, and I know that, you know what I mean? Like it's not, and it's so I guess what I'm trying to do now is just like I'm throwing myself into these, all these projects. We're gonna finish freaking Deathless issue 2.
Work on issue 3, get that
work
done
on issue
too.
3. We're gonna make a movie. We're going to we're doing
make a music video for the song we were supposed to make a music video for before the hurricane ruined everything.
Yes, freaking hurricanes.
Although I do like the new sound edit on that, by the way.
I haven't listened to it yet. I still have to listen to it. Did you?
I think I mixed it. I mixed it myself because I didn't like the mud on some of the like guitars and stuff. So it wasn't Craig's fault. I gave him a track with a bunch of layers on it. It's like all he can only tweak what I gave him. So I deleted tracks and clean tracks and re-recorded some tracks. Nice. It's tighter, so.
Heck yeah, dude. But what are we gonna do this week? Like, what progress are we gonna make on our book?
I have all those roughs working. I really need to finish some pages. Tina's back in town. Tina's back in action. I'm gonna push heavy on Saturday because I don't think I have anything going on until the evening on Saturday. So I should have a good chunk of my morning on Saturday to work on it and Friday evening. So my goal is to finalize page 2, and I guess you'll see the roughs for 3 are tighter than the roughs for 4, but like. I can pretty much start full progress on 3. I'll send it to you after we're done recording. You'll see.
Dude, awesome. So, I'm going to color all of page 1. What is there anything else that needs to be flatted yet?
No, I think maybe what else you could do is just like I said, put the logos and stuff on the cover.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I'll finalize the cover, and I will flat and try to letter all of page 1. I'll see what I can get through. That'd
be amazing.
Yeah,
because then it'll also make my shading, like I can choose where to shade too.
Yes, yeah, that'll be awesome. So that's what we're gonna do this week. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. I didn't expect to get into my loneliness and my aging Steven, but here we are. Talking about dating and life in general. But thank you all. Thank you all for supporting us and being here for the show. We really do appreciate you, and we love you. Yeah, it's been a crazy time, Steven. I can't believe we're on episode 124. It's nuts.
Crazy. And like this past week's episode did pretty good too. I've been trying to share on Facebook and Twitter now. Like,
yeah,
I forget about Facebook. There are a lot of people in my like locality that do only have Facebook. Like, people look at me like some foreign person on Twitter. Like, who uses Twitter? It's like, oh, well, that's true.
Yeah.
All
for sure. So, but thank you all. We will see you next week. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
And this has been episode 124 of We Have Issues. See you next time.
Boom!
What's up, dude?
Can you hear me
I can. Can you hear me?
in the air tonight? Yes, I can hear you.
Oh man, that song, I every time like it comes on the radio and I listen to it and it like it has to be about old Obi-Wan and Darth Vader coming together again. Like it's like if you listen to the lyrics, he's like, I remember, and it's all about like their past. He's like, the hurt it grows between you and me. It's all the lies. Like it's all this, and then it's like they haven't seen each other in a long time.
And you told me you were drowning, and like,
Yes.
yeah, like Anakin was like reaching for his, his mentor, his best friend.
Dude.
And then the drum beat is him remembering him rolling into the lava into Mustafar. Like, yeah, it's the burning. It's the burning sound that.
Yeah, but I mean, that really is every time I hear the song, that's what I think of. And I'm just like, I don't have the time or like concern to go through and edit that video, but it's like, it's there. I know it's there. Like someone needs to make it because it's definitely there.
TikTok.
I know, right? Freak. Crap. I'm so bad at TikTok. I don't care though. It's like, I've realized that TikTok.
You seem like you're being pretty consistent, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I think like
my video is doing pretty well though. It's got like 92 likes on TikTok.
Freaking heck yeah.
Which is pretty solid. The one I did, just the hair technique. Yeah.
Dude, I love that, dude. Yeah. Well, and that's what I was going to say is like, I think what happens to me is I forget that it's like, just like the same way I grew on Twitter wasn't like getting everyone on Twitter's attention. It was focusing on the writing community. I was like, here's the writers, specifically. And that's what, like hashtags and stuff, but I guess like when I started getting back into TikTok, I was like, I don't want to get stuck in like the book talk or whatever. Like, I don't want to be stuck having to do those trends and stuff that they do. And like, look at this. And I don't know. Just so so what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to just pick like 3. I'm like, I pitch like silly movies, and then like I talk about my writing stuff. So that's 2 things. And the third one is I just tell bad, dumb jokes sometimes. That's just.
And it's just be consistent with those 3 things and you'll be fine.
That's what I figure. I'm hoping.
I wish I had enough content to upload. What I should do is just start hitting screen record the entire time I draw and then just clipping that and find things in it that like I can talk about.
Yes. I mean, honestly, it's like if you posted those and then you can just be like, stitch this with something, and like then people could stitch it anyway and just use it and then it would see your drawings, because I don't even think you have to talk about the drawing. I mean, it helps. Obviously, there's a whole market for people who want to learn how to draw and learn that stuff.
Ooh, yeah, I see what you're saying. What I could do, it's kind of like how there's this one TikTok lady who just tells like horrible stories about her husband while she's cooking is one of them. Yes. She's like cooking, but she's talking about like a story.
Yes. Yes. That's what I was thinking. It was like, you can draw and then you can literally just narrate anything over it and be like, so this is what I do instead of dealing with my work where I have to deal with Ricky.
Yes.
And like, instead of thinking about that, I do this.